All right, we have another type of special right triangle. It's the 30, 60, 90 triangle, and they threw a question a little early, I think. These are the formulas that go with the 30, 60, 90. Now notice it's different. It doesn't have congruent sides like our 45, 45, 90. We have a hypotenuse still because it's a right triangle, and then we have two legs. They're not the same length. One is short and the other is long. Now the way you determine which is short and which is long is usually the picture just shows you one looks shorter than the other. You can always verify by saying, okay, here's my smallest angle, so the shorter leg should be across from it. So the short leg is across from the 30-degree angle, and the long leg is across from the 60-degree angle. Okay, here are the formulas. Now notice they're more involved than the 45, 45, 90, and that's because we don't just have a pair of congruent legs, we have two separate measures. The rule that I use that helps to simplify the formulas is to always find the short leg first. If it's not given to you, find it first before you find anything else. Okay, so that is the rule with 30, 60, 90s. If they didn't give you the length of the short leg, find it first. After you've found it, then you can find and here are the formulas you would use to find the short leg. Okay, so find the short leg first using these formulas. Okay, so if they didn't give you the short leg, they gave the hypotenuse. The short leg is the hypotenuse divided by 2. If they gave you the long leg, the short leg is the long leg divided by the square root of 3. Then once you've found the short leg, you can find any other parts that you need. The hypotenuse is the short leg times 2, and the long leg is the short leg times the square root of 3. Make sure you put these in your notes and label them as 30, 60, 90 triangles. So here we have an example of it's a right triangle. It has a 30-degree angle here, which automatically makes this one 60, because to add to 180, 90 and 30, 60 is what's left. Okay, we have the measure of one of our sides, and we're asked to find the other two side lengths. So the first thing we want to do is say, okay, which side do I have? Well, here's the right angle. The side I have is across from that. This would make it my hypotenuse. Okay, where is my short leg? Here's the short leg, and here's the long leg. The rule is to find the short leg first. So I'm going to find this short leg first. And notice there's two ways to find the short leg. It's either the hypotenuse divided by 2 or the long leg divided by the square root of 3. So when I'm deciding which one to use, I say, well, what do I know, the hypotenuse or the long leg? And right now, I just know the hypotenuse. So I'm going to be using this formula to find my short leg. Okay, so the short is equal to the hypotenuse divided by 2. The short leg was x equals the hypotenuse was 12, and 12 divided by 2 is 6. So I get that x is 6. Okay, now let's find y. Y was our long leg. How do you find the long leg? So go over to your notes. Here's the only formula for the long leg. Long leg equals the short leg times the square root of 3. Okay, I'm going to put that right here. So now I'm finding the long leg. Again, it's equal to the short times the square root of 3. Put in our information. The long leg was y. The short leg we just found out was 6. Okay, we figured that out already. That's why we find the short leg first. And root 3. Now they wanted it left in radical form, so that's just going to be my answer, 6 times the square root of 3. Alright, here we have kind of an application. It says the two arms of a railroad sign are perpendicular bisectors of each other. In Pennsylvania, the lengths marked in red must be 22.4 inches. What is the distance labeled D? Okay, so let's take a look. So perpendicular bisector, what does that mean? These two crossings are perpendicular bisectors. Well, it means that they form a right angle. The other thing it means, bisect, means to cut into two equal parts. Okay, so what happens here is that all of these side lengths end up being the same. Okay, what does that tell me? Okay, well, I know this is 22.4. I know this is 22.4. I know I have a right angle. What type of right angle do I have? if I have two congruent sides here, remember that makes these two angles congruent. This is a 45, 45, 90 triangle. I had a 90-degree angle and two congruent sides. That forced it to be a 45, 45, 90. Okay, I'm going to draw it over here where there's not quite so much traffic. Okay, I have this D that I want to find, and I know that these two legs are 22.4 each. I have a 45, 45, 90 triangle, so I go to my notes. I don't know the hypotenuse, and I do know the legs. How do you find the hypotenuse of a 45, 45, 90? Look in your notes. Where's the one that says hypotenuse equals what? Well, you should get leg times the square root of 2. So that's all I have to do is put the leg, which was 22.4, times the square root of 2, and they want me to round it, so I'm going to go ahead and take out my calculator and do that. Okay, I'm going to take 22.4 times the square root of 2. And when I do, I get 31.6783. It wanted rounded to the nearest tenth, which is one place after the decimal. I look at that next number. 7 is larger than 5, so I'm going to round up. So I get 31.7. Round my 6 up to a 7.